Welcome, kings and queens, to another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. This is the show where kings and queens tell their legacies and on. So get ready for the gems to drop and pull up to the table because we're ready. Welcome, everybody. It's your host, Melly Mill. We're right back here with another great episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. Special guest today, y'all. Man, this king has been a mentor to me as well, not just in business, but life itself. Please give your hands together for William Roberson, ladies and gentlemen, CEO of Shoreline Staffing and of Brown Sugar. So, man, how you been? What's been popping, man?
Man, grinding, man. Been busy, man. But all is well.
That's what's up. Now, I just heard something recently about you. I heard the R word from Shoreline. Is that true?
What's the R word?
The retirement.
Oh no.
Okay, all right. It's just rumors then.
I'm just stepping back. I'm stepping back, man. I got the team together. I got a powerful team, man. I can trust, so I can step back now and focus a little more on Brown Sugar, man. But that's my baby, man. I'm gonna always be that rocket, you know what I'm saying? I am stepping away from it, but the team got it. They're gonna continue the legacy and keep things pushing like it was when I was there.
Right. That's good. That's what's up. But I want to kick back to the beginning, just to give our viewers an insight of your mindset, what created this enterprise so a couple of years ago. And it's crazy because I was reading over some old articles that I've seen on WZZM. I think Fox, I read an article, how you started during the pandemic.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, now to start something like your business during the pandemic, people must think first thing and foremost, people were getting laid off left and right. There were no going to work for real during this time. But you yourself literally started a staffing agency from the ground up. And I just have to ask, man, how the hell did you do
that? God, first and foremost. God. But I didn't intentionally start it in the middle of the pandemic. I started it March 9th. The governor shut the state down March 13th. So the pandemic wasn't there when I started, but
wow, okay.
Yeah, she shut it down on me, man. So we were blessed, man, to get some companies, some essential companies in the food industry, man, that had to still go to work. So they still needed people, and people were afraid to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So I was finding people like, I go to work, so it kind of worked out, man. So pandemic is all I know. I never operated outside the pandemic, so I didn't have to make any adjustments. I just did what I do, man.
Man, but wasn't that kind of difficult? During that, even though you had like you said, the food services were still needing people, but that was like was that the only industry that collaborated with you guys at that time?
So medical was still needed, of course. A lot more medical was needed, and the auto industry, they were still going. They weren't going to the level that they historically have gone at, but they were still working. So they knew one day we're going to come out this pandemic and people are going to start buying cars again, so they had to be ready. I got a couple of companies, man. I got with the Boys and Girls Club, and they did some things with the kids. So there's some key companies, man, to help us get started and carry us through until the pandemic lightened up. So come July, late June, early July, everybody was like, okay, I need people. Saying people were afraid to come to work. People were getting sick. So they needed people, man. So we had to work inside that space, mask and make sure people getting tested. And when they were, sick, make sure we're taking them off, just following all the guidelines, man.
Right.
But we were getting them people and they were thankful. So when the pandemic lightened up, they was like, okay, Shoreline was there for me when I needed them most. So I'm gonna keep messing with Shoreline.
That's what's up. Oh man, I didn't read that in an article. That wasn't really that's more details than I thought.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always more to a story.
Yeah, but it's good to hear that insight, especially for young entrepreneurs and viewers that are thinking about starting on a staffing agency or whatever that may be. Try to find out how to maneuver between like United States difficulties or government ways or new state legislation. And that's a big part of having a business. You got to follow, you still got to do your own thing, but you still got guidelines and rules to follow in the state or country that you're in.
For
So
sure, for sure.
it's always, from my point of view of hearing young entrepreneurs like myself, they find it difficult. Like, man, I thought I could sell, get my liquor license. Like, I'm a liquor license, but man, I'm mad because I can't sell on Sundays. It's like, well, you got to read about that, man. You in the state that you live in.
For sure,
But
man. Got to research anything before you get into it, man.
right.
Before I opened this agency, man, it's probably 7 or 8 months of me just on the internet Googling and just finding out what the laws and the regulations, the limitations were with the business, man. So you definitely got to put that work in. The people don't see. They see that sign go up saying open, but believe me, there's a whole lot of work getting done before we got to that point.
Right. So you started this all by yourself, or?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Something I kind of did, man, I was a social worker, I was a caseworker. So I wasn't placing people for work, but companies would call and be like, Will, I got like 10 spots open. Anybody looking for work? So I was just referring people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So yeah, so one guy actually was like, why don't you start a business, man? You ever think about getting into it? I was like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm working for the state. You know what I'm saying? I got good benefits. I got good pay. You know what I'm saying? I got a family to take care of, man. So, so some things happened, made me take a closer look, man. And when I did, I found out that, I could make some money doing it and help my people at the same time. So it was a win-win for me.
Man, and you did this all in, I say, a year span?
Yeah, up a little less than a year, man. I just had to I just took a leap, man. Trust God to take care of me, man. And my family, my wife was behind me, said, go ahead. I'll take care of the bills till we get on. And that's kind of where that
that's
went.
so much love. Ooh, that's what's up, man. It's good, but it's good to have that type of support. We need that type of support, especially within family.
Absolutely.
But take me in the realm of like you going through these turmoils, like finding out the information, knowing what to do and what not to do. What were some of the bumps in the roads that you would say that gave you that extra push? So when you finally start that ball rolling, it was like, I see why I needed to go through this, or I understand this situation a lot better now.
For sure. So I was blessed enough to have a full-time job while I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I was just researching at night, you know what I'm saying, on my breaks, when I grab my phone and I go through it and do some stuff, man. So I wasn't no pressure on me because I still had an income. But one thing, the biggest key point that I found was very important, is funding. Like, you got to have somebody to factor those invoices, man. So you think about it, people going to work, but those payrolls, those invoices aren't getting paid for 60 to 90 days. So you got to have money readily available to meet that payroll until those invoices get paid, man. So there's companies out there called factoring. So they'll buy your invoices, so a part of it anyway, like 90%. So they'll front you, using street terms, they'll front you that bag, but when you get paid, you got to give them their money back off top, and that's kind of the way that worked, man. So you think at one point I had 160, 170 people that I had to make payroll for. I didn't have that money in the bank, you know what I'm saying? So, and people still had to get paid, man. So that company came, that factoring came, it was key. It was a key piece, man. So I didn't know that. Had I not did the research, I would open and start getting people on jobs and be like, oh, I got to pay them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. So that was a real key piece for me, man.
So you said 160 people?
At our peak, that's what we had. Probably had more than that. Probably was closer to 200.
God.
Yeah. So right now we probably got about 75, 80 people working for us right now, and that's been the consistent number in the peak seasons. But it's up and down, man. It's an industry that's up and down, man. It's a roller coaster.
Right. Of course. But what would you say one of the most fulfillment things that you would say about Shoreline Staffing, that you are like, I can't believe I did this?
Man. Helping my people for sure off the top, man, because especially felons, specifically felons, man. So it's hard, man. I used to hear cats all the time coming home saying, I can't find a job. You know what I'm saying? So eventually what you're going to do, go back to what you know.
What you do.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you're going to end up back in the same predicament, man. So be able to get those cats some jobs, man, and let them know, even before they even touch down, that when you come home, Will got you. I'm going to find you a job, man. It's up to you what you do with that opportunity, but I'm going to give you an opportunity. So that's been key for me, man, helping my community. Because I understand there's a correlation between crime and lack of opportunity, man. You know, so if you ain't got the opportunity, you got a family, you got to eat, you got to buy shoes and clothes for yourself, for your kids, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, of course.
You're gonna get it. We're gonna go get some money, man. So I'm giving them a legit way to go get that money, man, and turn their life around. So that's been huge for me.
So you became a doorway for those who couldn't find their way.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that one.
Sure.
So during this time, after, let's say, fast forward, so you working with Boys and Girls Club, some of the food industries around town, man, especially automotive, that's always a big piece of a puzzle. So after the pandemic, I want to ask, did brown sugar start then, or was that also during the time that Shoreline was being created as well?
Probably about 6, 7 months in, man. The idea of brown sugar came to us. Initially, we were just trying to find a space. My wife does decorating for events, right?
Right.
So initially, we were just trying to find a space so she could store stuff, have her some office space, and run her business from that space, man. So in doing that, we hollered at the city of Muskegon Heights. Troy Bell was the city manager at the time. So the space we looked at was like, this is cool, but you know what I'm saying, I don't know if this is going to work.
Right.
So he just threw out the idea. What do you feel about the pavilion? Like, man, that's way more space than we need, man. So, you know, so we gave it some thought, man. And a few days later, we was like, wait a minute, we may be able to do something with that. This way, we can have our own event center that
Right.
you decorate in, you know, so we can rent that out. So we cover everything. And then the idea of a restaurant and a lounge is something that's needed in our city, man. So that in our community, period, the type of entertainment stuff we're going to be doing is nowhere around here, not even in West Michigan.
Right.
So it was needed, man. So it's all came together, man, like a perfect storm, man. And it's been a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. I thought, okay, I got this idea. I'll be able to go open this up, and here we are.
Right.
A year and a half, 2 years later, and it's still not open. Still not open. So I know people are like, oh, ain't nothing. He ain't doing nothing. We're still going, man. So let me tell you, man. It started off as maybe $150,000 project, man. The cat came in there, walked around, like, yeah, I can do this for $150,000, right?
Yeah.
So I get some contractors in there. I get some engineers in there, and that price started going up, man. So 150, I was thinking I can do that out of my pocket, not bragging nothing, but that's money I could have just pulled from my pocket and did that project, right?
Yeah.
So right now it's $834,000 project. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that type of money in the bank.
God,
And even if I did, man, yeah, man. So to do it right, you know, we're gonna do it right, man. I'm not just gonna throw something up just to have a spot. We're gonna make sure
I
it's right,
feel you,
man.
but
Yeah, for sure.
that's like a rookie contract off the NBA, coach. Like,
yeah, man, it's an investment though. You know what I'm saying? It's an investment. I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna make sure that thing's successful. That's my motivation.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm motivated with you now. I'm not even. Ooh, snap.
Yeah, man. So
That's
even
a
if I
six.
had that type of money in the bank waiting liquid to use,
Yeah.
man, I wouldn't have done it like that. I mean, why would I put that kind of money into it, man?
Right.
Out of my pocket, because I still got a business to run, I still got a family to take care of. You know, so
Right.
I wouldn't do it even if I had that. So it was loans, it was grants, and and dealing with the city is a bunch of red tape with that. So it's taking a little longer than I thought, but I never stopped working. It's not a day that went past that I didn't do something towards brown sugar. So people may not see anything happening right now, but believe me, things are going on. A lot is going on, and we're really, really close to knocking some bricks down, man. So
that's what's up. Because I was wondering about that too. Because I'm like, man, brown sugar just sound like, oh my God, what's the movie? Like Harlem Night. I think about Life, the Boom Boom Room. Remember the scene,
for
the Boom
sure,
Boom Room?
for
Man,
sure.
that that was like, man, that'd be dope, bro.
It's definitely gonna be a vibe, man. A vibe that's needed on the lake, man. It's like we 200 feet from the water, man. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta take advantage of that in Michigan, man. So
yeah, of course. Plus the view. Oh man, the view would be perfect, man. See, I got my attentions, y'all, with my shot glass, got my cigar in the other hand. I'm sitting back watching on the deck.
That's the move, man. Little jazz playing in the background.
Yeah,
that's definitely the vibe. That's definitely the vibe.
I love it. And so, what would be your expectations of when this probably gonna set sail?
We've set a date of Memorial Day weekend of 2024. So that's the goal. So we're probably gonna start some work probably about October, November. So work through the winter. And by the time spring break, you come down by Morning Lake, you're gonna be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? What happened down here? Yeah, for sure, man. So the goal is I was gonna do Juneteenth, but I think we need to open up a little bit before that just to get everything, work off the kinks or whatever. So by the time Juneteenth rolls around, everything is running smoothly. So yeah, Memorial Day weekend of 2024 is the goal.
So man, there's so much I want to know now. Ooh, shoot. All right. Let me go back. I might be bounced back and forth, y'all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, bro.
Okay, I'm going back to Shoreline. With Shoreline, how is that work? Like, what is the process? I'm a newcomer coming in. I'm looking for income. You know, I'm fresh out of high school, maybe, and I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out where I fit in. What can Shoreline do for me? You know, as a person.
Yeah, we find employment from people from 17 to 80 and 90 if you want to work, you know what I'm saying? But
Wow,
to get started,
17?
yeah,
Oh
17.
man,
Yeah.
I got some people I need to send to you today.
Yeah, man. They gotta be ready to work though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So registration is the key point, man. Is the step that gets things started. So you can do that online. Just get registered, get the information to us. There's a 2-step process because then there's an onboarding process after you get registered, to get
Okay.
your W-2s and stuff and get all that set up. But after that, we bring you in and have a conversation with you, see what you want, what's your strength and weaknesses. What can Shoreline do for you? What are you looking for when you come to us? We want to know that. What are your expectations?
Right.
So we have conversations with people, man, to see what would be the best fit. Our motto is right candidate, right position. So we're not going to just put anybody in a spot just because we have an opening there. You got to be culturally, got to have the experience. You got to be fit for that culture. We don't want to send somebody into the wrong situation and set
Right.
them up for failure from the beginning, man. So we want to make sure that's a good spot for you and the company,
That's what's up. Have you had any setbacks
Yeah,
as a staffing agency? Like
yes, of course I said because I never did staffing before.